With almost 950 million hours viewed in 2022, Bridgerton is only second to the monster hit Stranger Things. The last we saw of the Bridgerton family was in March, but only a few short months later, it's confirmed that production of Bridgerton Season 3 is now underway. So, gentle readers, before we're thrown back into the world of Bridgertons, let's look at the most loved and hated characters of Seasons 1 and 2. The Bridgerton family expanded in scope and complexity when the series was renewed for a second season, providing new characters and story arcs to explore. Who finds redemption and who serves to be shunned by the ton? Let's start with the 5 most hated. Lord Featherington. Although the Bridgerton family is at the heart of Netflix's Bridgerton series, much of the drama focuses on another aristocratic clan, the Featherington family. Aside from their unique sense of fashion, the Featheringtons are often the source of scandal and intrigue in the first and second seasons. Apathetic to the gossip surrounding his homestead, Baron Archibald Featherington, played by Ben Miller, would rather read the newspaper than talk to his wife and daughters. Featherington's gambling addiction is his Achilles heel. It causes nothing but trouble for him and his family and ultimately leads to his death. Though Lord Featherington's crime may seem to be indifference, greed turns out to be his worst sin. While Lady Featherington is hardly a paragon of virtue, it can at least be said she has her family's best interests in mind, whereas her husband only had himself. Will Lady Featherington make the list? Keep watching and see. Marina Thompson. There's a lot of debate over Marina Thompson. She's a strong, independent, and ambitious woman, but she has made the list as she is also harsh and selfish. She tries to be a good friend to Penelope, but she acts superior to her when it comes to Colin, which makes some scenes difficult to watch. And let's not forget Marina makes one of the worst decisions in Bridgerton when she becomes pregnant with another man's child and tries to pass it off as Colin's. When the Bridgertons discover her secret, Marina leaves London. In Season 2, she's married and in a better position, but still cynical about love and loss. Nigel Burbrook. This character is only a temporary villain, but he deserves the crown for being the most frustrating. Nigel Burbrook would have made a horrible husband, and Daphne's fans certainly feel her impatience when dealing with him. Nigel is as stubborn as they come. He doesn't take the hint to leave Daphne alone and feels like he has a right to her company. Moreover, fans will never be able to forgive him for trying to take advantage of her. At that point, he moves beyond frustration and becomes downright despicable. Thank you, Julianne Robinson, for not giving him more screen time. Jack Featherington. The death of Lord Featherington in Season 1 of Bridgerton brought about a new lord, Jack. Though Featherington seemed to bring financial stability to the family as he paid off the debts, as time went on and Jack became more involved with the family, they realized he was actually quite irresponsible with money. But when Portia traps him in a marriage with her daughter Prudence, Jack reveals that his mines in America are worthless and he's broke. After his plan to gain a fortune by marrying Cressida Cowper has gone up in smoke, Jack and his wife Portia devise a scheme to deceive the rich people of the Ton by convincing them to invest in Jack's mines, only to flee with their money once they have made large returns. However, things did not quite go as planned in the last episode of the season. A twist hidden in Jack Featherington's name all along is revealed. In a powerful speech, Portia leaves Jack no choice but to return to America with nothing to avoid the scandal of the mines, which is her saving grace because she would have placed in the most hated 5 otherwise. Cressida Cowper. Cressida's arrogance is a source of frustration each time we see her briefly on screen. For the most part, fans see that she tries to sabotage Daphne in Season 1 and Prudence in Season 2. Cressida thinks she's better for Prince Friedrich, but she also threatens Daphne's entire life because of this. While Cressida's disappointment as being upstaged by Daphne is understandable, her actions in retaliation are somewhat harsh. In Season 2, her overconfidence in a relationship with Jack Featherington causes her to miss the signs of his true nature. Her manipulative and bullying ways make her one of the least likable characters in Bridgerton. Let's go to the good stuff, the most loved characters. Daphne Basset. She's as beautiful as she is graceful, but if you insult her honor, she'll punch you in the face. The eldest Bridgerton daughter, Daphne, is the picture-perfect image of a young lady making her debut. She was named the Queen's Diamond in Season 1 of Bridgerton, a title that proves she can shine in more ways than one. Although she knows her duty is to marry, Daphne doesn't take any nonsense when it comes to finding the right man. Despite her brother's attempts to keep away unsuitable suitors, Daphne proves she can fend off undesirable suitors just fine on her own, thank you. Her plan to pretend to court Simon Basset is a stroke of genius, and she isn't afraid to stand her ground, refusing the hand of Lord Nigel Burbrook when her brother insists upon it. On the surface, Daphne is more than willing to perform the duties expected of her, yet she also manages to claim that which she most desired, a true love match. We're crossing our fingers for a whole lot more of her in Season 3. Anthony Bridgerton. If we were only looking at Season 1 of Bridgerton, then Anthony Bridgerton might not have made the list. However, thanks to the shift of focus on his actions in Season Season 2, fans have come to see this former rake in a much kinder light. In the beginning episodes of Bridgerton, the devilishly handsome Anthony was prideful, misogynistic, and somewhat hypocritical. He insisted on being in charge of Daphne's marriage arrangements, even as he had a fling with opera singer Sienna. There's little to sympathize with Anthony's character in Season 1 of Bridgerton. However, Season 2 allowed fans a closer look inside the pressures of being Lord Bridgerton. Anthony lost his father at a young age, and he felt burdened with the duties of heading a household. It wasn't until years later that Anthony started taking his role as a Viscount seriously. However, he felt he must take drastic measures to make up for the lost time. It was fortunate that falling in love with Kate Sharma seemed to be just what Anthony needed to find the peace he'd been trying to find for so long. Fans love seeing his sensitive side, and we can't wait to explore Anthony and Kate's married life together. Queen Charlotte. A somewhat controversial entry, but we think you'll agree with us once we lay out our case. Charlotte is a delight to watch on screen, and her silencing of opponents makes the show much more enjoyable. She's a tastemaker in London society, and her sense of smell is so keen she can pick the next season's it girl in just a single whiff. Viewers loved her over-the-top outfits and her ruthless ways. Turns out Netflix is cooking up a royal treat with a spin-off of the Bridgerton series focusing on Queen Charlotte. As a prequel, the new show will focus on how Charlotte became the iconic character in the hit Mothership series. Eloise Bridgerton. Eloise was the rule breaker viewers needed, the girl who could see past antiquated rules and rigid conditions for women, and she wanted to achieve more just like men could. She was a huge protector of Penelope and her friends, but it was when she tried to let Lady Whistledown escape that she really won everyone's hearts. That and when she shared a cigarette with Benedict on the swing. She was interested in more than just making her debut in society, and her depth is set to continue to charm fans. Lady Danbury. Lady Danbury's popularity is unrivaled. Although Lady Danbury may not technically be royalty, she is the queen of sass, and Bridgerton fans are here for it. It's hard to find anything not to like about this character, and we've looked hard. Surely she must have her flaws somewhere, but so far all we see is perfection. Introduced as the godmother of Simon Basset, Lady Danbury has always been known for being blunt and honest in her observations, yet she remains one of the most influential members of the ton. She takes the boy under her wing after his mother dies, defying the Duke's aversion to a boy that he deems imperfect and therefore unworthy. Both Simon and Lady Danbury prove him wrong in the end, even after he dies on his hill of misery. Lady Danbury is the puppeteer behind the curtain, making true love matches. She helps to convince the Queen to allow Simon and Daphne to marry, and she's there for the Bridgertons when Anthony and Edwina's wedding goes up in smoke. She tells people what they need to hear, not necessarily what they want to hear, and that's what makes her truly great. And now for an honorable mention. From the moment Bridgerton fans saw that adorable face and those bright brown eyes, they fell in love. No, we're not talking about Anthony Bridgerton, but the true star of Season 2, Newton. The Sharma family's youngest member may be small in stature, but this character plays a big role in the hearts of fans and dog lovers. Do you agree with our top 5 loved and top 5 hated characters? Season 3 will bring new characters and storylines, but we'll have to wait and see if our favorite characters stay where they are in our ranking. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.